Hi everybody, welcome to today's edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Sean Woodland with Helmi, Marquez, and Pat Sherwood. Week 2 of regionals is behind us. We've had some time to sort of reflect on what went on, and this weekend was just as exciting as weekend number 1.
And the winners this time, I guess on both men, women, and teams, dominated from start to finish. The race was just for the other positions.
I mean, seeing what we've finished with in the last 2 weeks just makes me excited for the finishes we're going to see in week number 3, but I'm not ready to give up on week 2 just yet.
Let's start in the Atlantic Regional, where the two individuals who won their respective divisions, Ben Smith, the men, and Emily Bridgers on the women's side, both of them led wire to wire. Both of them look like they are ready to make some serious noise at the CrossFit Games.
And starting with Emily Bridges, she was on fire from start to finish, coming in off of a disappointing finish last year at the Games, and now, holy smokes, her third time winning regionals, came in with a bit of a creaky back, but I talked to her after the whole thing ended. She said somehow her back actually feels better. She's going to take care of it for the next week or so, but man, she's off to the races training for the Games.
And you can't ignore the reigning champ Ben Smith, winning regionals for the 6th time. That actually sets the record for the most regional wins of any athlete, male or female, one ahead of Annie Thorsdottir, who's got 5. He had 3 event wins, one for each day of the week, just for giggles, and he finishes off with an event win to kind of put a stamp on the weekend. I mean, he is in top form.
Meanwhile, we had a married couple qualify in the Atlantic Regional. Both Gary and Aaliyah Helmi finished 5th. They are going to the CrossFit Games. Gary has been there before. Aaliyah has not. And the good thing is here is that they both finished 5th, so no bragging rights. They're both equal now. They can't rib each other a little bit here, but
that would have been bad.
Yeah, you know that had one made it and one didn't. That's an awkward car ride home.
I
probably
would not envy that. And really cool, they're the 3rd married couple to make it. We've had the Barnetts, we've had the Chans, and now we have the Helmics. So quite a tradition, an incredibly fit household. And now, they can, share recovery supplements at the Games one. It's going to be good to go.
And after their performance, in particular with Aaliyah, I think Columbia, Maryland, where their box is, and where they own and operate their box, I think Aaliyah in particular should rally for May 22nd to be Helmic Day. I think they need to change that date to Helmic Day for both of them qualifying.
On the team side of things, we didn't talk a whole lot about CrossFit Seoul, Team Seoul, if at all, going into the regionals, but they deserve a lot of attention after what they pulled off at the regionals this past weekend.
Well, the deal was, we actually didn't talk about Emily Bridgers that much. It's like, okay, she's crushing it, but then you talk about the races. That was the same thing with Seoul. From the whole competition, they were never in any danger, and from every barbell loading, repetition range, skill set, we didn't identify a single hole in their game.
And it must have had to do something with Sam Briggs hanging out with there a little while.
That helps. By osmosis, yeah.
It looks so cool and composed in the midst of everything that was going on. You have to look forward to the Games to see if they can show it there too.
The other regional that was going on was out in Portland, Oregon. That was the West Regional, and the big story there on the men's side, Brent Vikowski, who before this year had missed going to the CrossFit Games by a total of just 3 points, didn't just squeak in, he Kool-Aid manned his way through the wall into the CrossFit Games.
I mean, what more can you say? He had 5 top 3 finishes. That's more than Ben Smith had. That's more than Josh Bridges had. Actually, that's more than any regional winner has had thus far. And we might not see anyone save maybe Matt Fraser break that. He left no doubt from the get-go. And even on day 3, when things traditionally have fallen apart for him, he has an event win, sets an event record, and then just cruises his way in the final.
And for the 2nd straight year out there, Cole Sager gave all of his fans a heart attack and waited until the final event to solidify a spot in the top 5.
I'll tell you what, you guys were up there as we were watching that, believers till the end, and I was already packing up shop. We can't do it. I'm sorry. It's too late in the game. There's too many points. But then 3, 2, 1 go happened on event number 7, and Cole went out like he was shot out of a cannon. And that's what you get. He's a 2-time Games athlete. He's a collegiate athlete. He knows that you never know what's going to happen. Points shift around, and he did exactly what he needed to do. Blew me away, exceeded my expectations, and he'll be making a 3rd trip out to Carson.
Yeah, and he saved his best for last. Cole Sager wins one event, and he saved it until event 7.
Cole, the pressure was on in the final event. You had a 31-point deficit to overcome. Did you feel that pressure going into it because you performed well?
You know, I told you before, I go into every event with just giving my best effort, and I accepted it beforehand. If I take first and I don't make it, that's okay. If I give everything I had and I take last, that's okay. I just want to go out and give my best effort, representing the community, having everybody out here supporting me, and the crowd cheering us here on a Sunday. It just means so much. So to give anything but my best is not fair. So, yeah.
And plans now heading up to the point when you head out to California?
I actually just bought a house. We close in 4 days. So me and my wife are moving over to Spokane, Washington. Sad to leave my home in Seattle with all my friends there, but looking forward to a new chapter, getting settled in there and getting right to work.
Congratulations. Can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you so much.
And now's the part of the show where we are going to give Pat his due credit. Last week when we were previewing this regional, we talked a lot about Margot Alvarez and Emily Abbott as the favorites on the women's side. You said the human monkey wrench in that could be Carleen Matthews. Carleen Matthews wins the regional.
Yeah, and she just looked different, fantastic, a good different, but this is somebody who took second last year at regionals, went on to the games, which is an incredible achievement, but didn't really make any headlines out there in Carson. But who I saw just this weekend, she looked entirely different. She not only won her regional, but whatever that tough it factor is, she competed with it. She was fierce, she was fiery, she looked around, she tried to just tear everyone else's head off. That year of training has paid off, and I think she's going to rocket up the leaderboard this year in Carson.
On the team side, in Atlantic, we talked about Team Seoul and how they didn't get a whole lot of attention coming in. Well, Boise CrossFit Rainbow could have hit me in the face with a bag of Skittles, and I would have known who they were. Now they have my attention after what they pulled in the West Regional. I mean, they are going to be contenders when they get to the games.
They have set the bar high for the teams looking to go to looking at regionals for the next week. Only one finish outside of the top three. That was the last event, and it was a fourth. They kind of came out of nowhere, but they've got some experience. 3 team members from Verdant Green who won this regional last year are actually on this team. Going into the final event, they had 765 points. That's with one event left. That's more than Team Density, the team that won the South, had after all the events in the weekend. So they were clearly the class of the team competition this weekend.
Want to add to that? Or?
I think that wraps it up beautifully. My hat is off to them. I look forward to seeing what they can do in Carson.
The newcomers that will be heading to the games, there are 7 of them on the individual side, starting in the Atlantic. Jacob Anderson, Meg Reardon, and Aaliyah Helmick, who's been trying for a while, finally gets to Carson. And then out west, Brett Bukowski, Samuel Quant joins his training partner, Cole Sager, at the games. Carly Fuhrer and Christina Verhagen heading to the games for the first time as well. Congratulations to all of them. 1 more week remains in regional competition. It's going to be a good one. 2 in North America, 1 in Europe. The Central and the East in North America. In Madrid, Spain, the Meridian Regional. That's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. In the Central, Rich Froning and Team CrossFit Mayhem. In the East, Katrin Davidsdottir and Matt Fraser. And then a great matchup on the women's side over in the Meridian. Sarah Sigmundsdottir, 2-time champ Annie Thorisdottir, and 1-time champ Samantha Briggs throwing down there. You're not going to want to miss that. Tickets are still available. And of course, you can watch every heat, every event live on games.crossfit.com. Well, that's going to do it for us for today. For Pat Sherwood and Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. 1 week to go before we know the entire field for the CrossFit Games.